Doom 2016 is a remarkable game. It takes a fundamental gaming series and supercharges it with new life without discarding the past. In the most positive way, Doom Eternal makes the previous effort look small and pedestrian, at least if the first 3 hours are any indication. The game takes those old bones and builds upon them, and then keeps building like it refuses to run out of inspiration. Doom Eternal exhibits a remarkable sense of confidence in its quality and distinct direction. There's an almost ruthlessly lean aspect to the pacing, which is a huge reason why it's so successful. Within a given level, you'll do so much. Claw through intense battle arenas, leap across huge chasms, manipulate the environment to find a way forward, and gain an assortment of tools and upgrades to increase your own versatility. While none of these gameplay elements are unique, it's the way in which they're implemented that makes them work so well. Doom Eternal is completely okay with a good idea lasting what seems like only a minute or two, as long as that time is completely worthwhile. The all-killer, no-filler makes it hard to tire of the game, even when it's at its most relentless. Yet the approach also doesn't carelessly discard ideas, but instead iterates upon them quickly. Take the platforming, for instance. Early on, you hop from wall to wall ascending into the sky, followed by jumping across platforms that sink into lava, and then timing shots to hit a locking mechanism to make sure a door is open as you soar through it. Despite carnage and mayhem always being the centerpiece of Eternal, the game is okay with letting itself breathe a bit, as long as that breath never takes away from the momentum. Still, all of this would be for nothing if the ripping and tearing didn't live up to the high standards of Doom 2016. And again, Eternal dwarfs its predecessor here completely. The first thing to note is simply the speed at which you're expected to perform. Stopping often means death, at least on the ultra-violence difficulty. Such swift punishment requires you to quickly analyze whatever environment you're in, avoiding ruinous dead ends, as well as identifying essential elements such as poles stuck high in the walls that can be swung from for a quick escape, and utilizing useful hazards like exploding barrels. There is a very specific set of rules in play, and the game makes certain that players push themselves to constantly break out of their comfort zone, almost as if it hates player complacency. Taking a hit is often brutal, and monsters have no problem chewing through you in an instant. In spite of this, battles never feel hopeless since you can regain health by glory-killing enemies, finishing them off with a vicious melee attack. The system demands aggressive play, and that often means you can't afford to hang back and safely pick enemies off. Glory kills work wonderfully in Doom 2016, but the increased speed of combat makes it even more valuable here. It's also practically impossible to stick with any one weapon for very long. Ammo is not only limited, but powerful enemies like Arachnotrons, Revenants, and Mancubi have weak points that can be destroyed to severely limit their offensive capabilities, and getting rid of these isn't a mild suggestion. All three of these enemies are appropriate nightmares if not handled thoughtfully and quickly. Like everything else in Eternal, if it's in the game, it's meant to be used as often and as efficiently as possible. Balancing all of these elements, as well as others, makes it almost feel like you're playing an intense tactical game at the speed of light. Story is rarely a focus for Doom, but Eternal's approach is an interesting one, feeling like an expansion to the tone set in 2016. There's a central mystery going on, one that you're thrust in the middle of, and it seems like everyone else knows more than you do. Eternal teases you periodically, offering enticing pieces that help stitch it all together. Like the rest of the game, none of these sections drag on, serving as context for violence without coming across as self-important. In a great touch, there are multiple moments when some high and mighty figure is talking to the Doomslayer, and he just walks away in glorious silence.
I must survive this. Protect me in my time of need, and you will secure your place in the new world.
There's a lot of praise here for Doom Eternal, but it's hard not to feel like the game earns every inch of it. This latest hands-on demo is even more impressive than the already great E3 demo last year. Regardless of how you feel about Doom, the passion that id Software is displaying here is infectious. It's clear that the people behind the scenes not only care about Doom a whole lot, but are absolutely certain they can deliver a game that makes it even greater.